chỉ có 10202 không được văng tục văng tục.
Greetings, Divine Family. As most of you already know, I am Queen Mother, Sekhmet, also known as, or should I say better known as, Sabrina Glenn. And so today I will be hosting Moments of Mastery podcast alone because the chief had to do what the chief had to do. All right, so today's episode is going to be about mental rehearsal to help you reprogram your mind. You see, the things that is happening around us is only a reflection of what is going on within our minds. You can always tell what is happening subconsciously, or you can tell the things that people have think about the most. You can always tell what is happening inside of a person by looking at what they have manifested, by looking at the reflection of their reality. Now, all of us go through challenges. All of us have so-called bad things or traumatizing things that happen to us. No matter who you are, no matter how much money you make, no matter how much work you do, no matter how spiritually ranked you are, we all will be challenged. And so it's not to say that if something bad or challenging happened to you, that means that you are a bad person or you think bad thoughts or anything like that. But it's just about realizing that everything that is happening, it is happening for a purpose. It is happening for a reason. There is no such thing as a coincidence. Everything is happening in divine order, but also everything is happening and occurring in the way that we are manifesting or co-manifesting, because we are not manifesting alone. There are things that is happening in our universe that we may not personally have manifested or personally have brought into consciousness with our thoughts, but we are a part of it because of certain contracts that we have taken on to be able to experience during this time. You see, we not too long left the Piscean age, and now we are going into the Aquarian age. And so the Aquarian age is really about bringing the dark to the light. The Aquarian age is about the truth. The Aquarian age is about bringing things to the surface. That's why so much lately you have been seeing a lot of people, a lot of corporations, a lot of things being exposed. A lot of things are coming to the light. People are becoming less fearful of speaking their truth. That's why you even had at the beginning of the year how Cat Williams had his episode of speaking his truth, right? Because his truth is for him. The truth is only relevant for the person that is speaking it during that time. And so right now, today, I am going to really be going into how to adopt practices to be able to reprogram your mindset by practicing new thought. And so I had to take notes because I get scatterbrained, and I'm just being honest. And so I'm going to take notes. I took notes so that I can stay focused on being able to deliver the message in a proper way so that you can gain value from it. I don't want to just be on here talking just to be talking. I am here to add value. All right. So the Aquarian age is all about truth. It's about revealing things. It's about bringing things to the light. Right. But not only is the Aquarian age about truth and light, the Aquarian age is also bringing the divine feminine energy back into its power. But see, the problem is a lot of us, we don't know our power. We don't know the power of what feminine energy can do. We think feminine energy is all about looking good and having a good for JJ and being extra wet and making a man do what we tell him to do. No, feminine energy is creative energy, baby. Feminine energy is power. Feminine energy is also dark energy, but dark doesn't mean bad. It's simply just the opposite of light. And so I am saying this to say that we are moving into a new time. And so the problem is a lot of us don't know our power. We don't know who we are. We don't know where we come from. We don't know the truth of the essence of who we are. And so therefore, we're always being tricked out of our power because we don't even realize that we hold the power. But see, those that are in control, or the powers that used to be, those that used to be in control, they know your power. They know who you are. And so they're capitalizing off of the feminine energy, but they are bringing it and giving it to you in a masculine way. And so therefore, it is not divine feminine energy that is being displayed on the media. It is really toxic masculine energy, because true divine feminine energy is about creativity. Feminine power is God power. Feminine power is about being able to bring things from a spiritual realm into the physical realm. That's why when we give birth, we are working with God. We're vessels for God to be able to bring spirit from the spiritual realm into the physical realm. That's the power of being a woman. Being a woman have nothing to do with being cute and putting on makeup and dressing nice and getting our nails and our toes done. Yes, those things are nice. And feminine energy is really, really, really got so much more to do with the inner world. It's all about the spiritual world. That's where the feminine energy rules. Masculine energy rules in the physical world. But see, if you really know the power of feminine energy, if you know the power with spirituality, with it, what God is, if you really know the God's power, you will realize that you can shift anything in the physical if you're tapped into the spiritual, because the spiritual is the true power. The spiritual is the true divine power. So being able to tap into that power, you are able to recreate your realities. All right. And so in order to shift into a new program, in order to shift your reality, you need to be able to observe what is happening. You need to observe what is going on, what is occurring, and you need to be able to tell a new story. And see, a lot of us have been going through a lot of deep shadow work all year, like the full moons, the different stuff that has been happening, the different retrogrades, is all bringing up the shadow side. That's why a lot of people are having mental breakdowns. That's why a lot of people are having a hard time being able to cope during this time, is because a lot of the dark things or the shadow parts that we have suppressed is coming back up. And see, a lot of people avoid shadow work because they fear it, or they do not want to revisit those past pains. But one thing about it, if you don't consciously, intentionally revisit them so that you can make new agreements, they are going to rule you one way or another. There's just trying to escape it. Only thing you're doing is magnifying the problem, and it's going to explode on you. So that's why a lot of people are having a hard time mentally right now, is because they don't know how to face that shadow side. It's not even that they're bad people or they're reaping their karma or none of that. Of course, we're going through karmic law. And so a lot of times, a lot of people are facing, and a lot of people are reaping what they sowed. Whatever you have put out, it is coming back to you. It's all being revealed to you. But just because you have done something bad, that doesn't mean that you are a bad person. Now, you know, if you've done some effed up stuff, because right? But also keep in mind that on this human journey, we all do messed up things at times, and so none of us are perfect. But we're not perfect, but we're perfect. That's what I mean when I say that the truth is only relevant for the person or the time, right? Because our imperfection is what makes us perfect. And so therefore, we're not perfect. And the fact that we're not perfect, that makes us perfect. The same thing with the story of Jesus, how they say no man or nobody's perfect except Jesus Christ, right? But if you actually read the story of Jesus Christ in the Bible for yourself, if you actually really read it and digest what his story of what he came here to do and what he came here to teach and how he handled himself, you will realize that Jesus was also imperfect. But his imperfection is what made him perfect. It's because he didn't hide from his imperfection. He didn't try to lie and pretend he wasn't, that he was perfect. Jesus didn't come to try to say, worship me, look at me, let me show you what I can do. No, Jesus didn't even want to be worshiped. If you really read the Bible, Jesus would tell you that you would do even greater works than he, right? The Bible says you would do greater works than I. But if you go say that you are greater than Jesus, then they're saying that it's a sin. But that's what Jesus has proclaimed. That was the words of Jesus, that you will do greater works than I, because you are living in a new time. You have access to new information. You have access to technology that Jesus didn't have access to. And so therefore, if we're tapping into the right power, you too can do just as great works or even greater than what Jesus has did with being able to deliver the message of the kingdom, right? So In order to tell a new story, you first need to be able to observe and realize the story that has been told. And see, our shadow work is all about going within and seeing the things that we have suppressed, right? It's about bringing those things up. But avoiding your shadow work, a lot of times you are avoiding your purpose and you're avoiding your gifts because a lot of times we suppressed our gifts. We suppressed our purpose because we was raised around people that feared the power of what our purpose and our gifts could do, or they just simply didn't know. And so you need to know who you are, but more than anything, you need to know who you desire to be. But in order to know who you are, a lot of the times people don't know what they want. And so I have a lot of times when I'm helping people, women in particular, find out or pinpoint what it is they want. A lot of times I have to help them first go back and realize the things that they don't want, because a lot of times it takes them to go revisit and see what they don't want in order for them to realize what it is that they do want. Right. And so really that's what this episode is all about. It's about knowing how to practice and utilize your mental rehearsal in order to create a lifestyle that you desire. See, now is the time to remind yourself what you don't want to feel. So mental rehearsal is about becoming aware of what it is that you are feeling. It's about your emotions, right? And so you need to monitor how you are feeling. And now is the time to be asking yourself, how is it that I want to feel? But a lot of times, in order to get to the space of understanding what you want to feel, you need to first understand what you no longer want to feel. And so you need to really be asking yourself, what is it that do I not want to feel anymore? Okay, so example, I don't want to feel insecure. I don't want to feel lack. I don't want to feel like I'm living in poverty. I don't want to feel broke. I don't want to feel sad. I don't want to feel jealous. I don't want to feel envy. I don't want to feel malice. I don't want to feel angry. I don't want to feel like I'm not enough. I don't want to feel like I am not worthy. I don't want to feel like I am a mess up, right? And so you need to realize what it is that you no longer want to feel. And once you realize what you no longer want to feel, it will help you gain more clarity of what it is that you do want to feel, right? And so first you're asking yourself, okay, I don't want to feel this right here anymore, right? And once you realize what it is that you don't want to feel, then you'll have more clarity on what you do want to feel. 90% of who we are automatic emotional responses of the unconscious habits, hardwired attitudes, beliefs, and perspectives that are running us like a computer. And so 90% of who you are really is just a programming of who you have been taught to believe that you are. Is really a program that's running from a mirror of the people and the surroundings that you have been around majority of your life. And so who you are really is a reflection of those people that you have agreed with around you. And so a lot of times that a lot of us, even though we say we don't want to, I don't want to be my parents. I'm not my mom. And then as you grow up and grow older, you start to realize that, dang, I became my mother, or dang, I became my father, or, so a lot of the things that is happening, all of the things that is happening around us in our reality is really a reflection of the things that we have been programmed to believe. And so environment, just because you was born broke, that doesn't mean that you have to stay broke. And a lot of times that a lot of people adopt the mindset of thinking that they are broke is because that everything around them just have reflected poverty. And so they haven't been properly educated on the energy of having wealth, the energy of obtaining riches, the energy of having cash flow. Is because they have been programmed broke thoughts. They have been programmed broke habits. They have been programmed broke words by the people that they have grew up around, if that makes sense. And so you can think all day, I am happy, I'm rich. But if your body is saying something different, then you would not be able to manifest it. And so when I speak about the power of affirmations, most people forget or they don't realize that in order to have a powerful, effective manifestation that truly works, you will have to be able to feel the energy of it. It's all about the energy and the emotions you are feeling when you speak it. You have to know that it is true. You have to believe it. You have to know the power. You have to know who you are. You have to know the power of your words. You have to know the power of your thoughts. And the more you tap into realizing and knowing that power, the more you can utilize that power to work for your highest good or work in your favor. To watch what we think, we need to observe the words that we are speaking, and we need to pay attention to our habits if we want to manifest a new reality. We have to become so conscious of our unconscious mind that we do not go unconscious during our waking day. Meaning that we have to be so conscious of how we move. We have to be so conscious of our habit of thought. We have to be so conscious of who we are that once we start to drift off into a space of forgetting, that we are able to call our energy and our power back to ourselves. And so personally, I had to become conscious of my negative thought patterns. And so how I became conscious of my negative thought patterns is I started monitoring what I was thinking throughout the day. To the space of being able to monitor how I was thinking, I had to first monitor how I was feeling. And so whenever I caught myself feeling a negative emotion, I had to literally stop and say, okay, Sabrina, what is it that I was just thinking about? And then I'll be like, oh, I was just thinking about something that happened back in the day with this person, da, da, da. And I'll be like, okay. And so I have to observe it. And I try my best to observe it without judgment and just say, oh, okay, I was just thinking about that and it made me feel negative. And so, but see, if you dwell there, if you realize when you think about a thought from the past, you will start to feel the energy of the energy of what was happening then during that time again. And so therefore you are recreating that experience. The things in your reality is not changing because your thoughts are not changing. The things that is happening around you is not shifting. It's because the energy that you are embodying is not shifting. The things are not happening or changing around you because you are not changing your daily habits. You are not changing how you're speaking. You're not changing how you're thinking. Because if you change the way you see things, the things you're looking at will change. And a lot of people be like, well, what does that mean? It means that if I can change how I see you, how you treat me, and how you occur in my reality is going to change. No matter how aggravated you, no matter how much you don't like me, no matter how much inner negative energy you try to send me, no matter how messed up you try to show up in my reality, if I control how I feel about it, if I control how I see it, if I control, you know what, I don't like the way that Susie has been looking at me. But I also have to realize that how Susie is looking at me is really more of a reflection of something that's going on within Susie. You are not feeling a new feeling of happiness, of gratitude, because you do not give yourself time to practice the feeling of happiness and gratitude. And a lot of people be like, Sabrina, you're supposed to practice gratitude. Yes, because the problem is the emotion that you have been practicing the most is you have been practicing feeling depressed. You have been practicing feeling aggravated. You have been practicing feeling pissed off. You have been practicing feeling insecure. And so if you change the way that you are feeling, if you change how you are allowing yourself to feel throughout the day, you will realize that the things will start to change to match your new vibration of feeling. And so when we say that 90% of who you are is really just your unconscious habits, is your hardwired attitudes, beliefs, and perspectives, the things that is happening around you really have nothing to do with somebody or something on the outside punishing you or gifting you. It's really about what is happening inside of you and what you are making agreements with. I can tell you exactly what your future is going to look like by observing how you are showing up. I can tell you how your future is going to look by observing the words that you speak and how you treat others, by how you carry yourself, about the way that you move. A lot of people, you don't have core values and things that you stand on. We have to become so conscious of our unconscious mind that we don't go unconscious during the day. Meaning, we have to become so aware of how we are feeling. We have to become so aware of how we are thinking. We have to become so aware of how we are showing up. We have to become so aware of our habits. We have to become so aware of our emotions that we do not go unconscious of those things. And so therefore, once we start to feel a feeling of lack, once we start to feel aggravated, once we start to feel just mad or angry, we can say, okay, well, what is making me feel this way? And so once we become aware of what it is that making us feel this way, then we can make a new agreement of saying, okay, I can A, choose a different way to look at it, or B, I can distract myself from that thought altogether and tell myself, you know what, Sabrina, or Amber, Susie, whatever your name is, and say, I don't have time for this. I have bigger things to do. I have bigger fish to fry. I have things to do. I don't have time to be overthinking what somebody have said about me 3 years ago. I don't have time to be overthinking how this lady was mean to me at the grocery store. I don't have time to be overthinking how that man didn't appreciate me, because I have things to do. And these things that I have to do is way bigger than what this person got going on, because really at the bigger scheme of things, that person in that situation, those feelings are really irrelevant. And so I get to shift my thoughts. And so I can go listen to something that is inspiring. I can go sing a song that make me feel good. I can go move my hips. I can go stand outside and ground myself. I can go take a walk. I can go do something else that is going to help me feel differently in this moment, because really it's all about your feelings. It's not about what happened to you. It's about how you are feeling and how you are showing up in this moment. So if 95% of who we are is automatic thoughts and responses and emotions of our past, only thing we have to do is start changing how we are thinking, changing how we are responding, changing how we are showing up in the world, changing the things that we're thinking. And so when you realize you've been thinking a negative thought for the past 3 damn days that have got you in a place of feeling like you're depressed, there's no point of beating yourself up and saying, oh, I wasted 3 days of my life. No. You could just say, dang, I forgot who I was again. I forgot my power. I forgot that I am the creator of my reality. I forgot that the power is within me. I forgot that the only thing I have to do is shift my thoughts and shift my feelings and shift my vibrations, and everything around me is going to change. And see, that's why I always say the biggest problem any woman or any man has ever had is they forgot who they are. Your problem is not your baby daddy. Your problem is not your baby mama. Your problem is not fake friends. Your problem is not the fact that you don't have enough money. Your problem is not the fact that you broke. Your problem is not your mama. It's not your daddy. It's not the things that happened to you. It's not the mistakes you made. It's not the things that you lack. Your problem is you forgot who you are. You forgot that you are one with source energy. You forgot that you are one with God. You forgot that you are divine. And so when you forget those things, then you start to act as if you are a victim, because anytime that you are blaming other people or anything outside of you for what is happening or occurring inside of you, you are a victim. And so that's why I always say that the problem is you. It's not that this person didn't do nothing messed up. It's not that these people are not weird. It's not that these people are not messy, and these people are not fake, and these people are not rude, and these people are not disrespectful. But the problem is we are keep looking at what they are doing and trying to call it out. No. I'm not calling you out, baby. I don't care what you do, because I'm the problem. And when I say I'm the problem, it's not saying, oh, I'm always the messed up one. Oh, I'm always the guilty one. Oh, it's my fault. But at the same time, it is my fault, because when I look at it, especially, you know what? It's my fault. I'm the one that manifested it. I'm the one that was sleeping on my power, because I'm the one that didn't set healthy boundaries, and I let your weak A slide around up in my reality as if you really somebody. I'm the one that forgot that you don't have no free will over here, baby. That I am the one that's creating my reality. And so with me forgetting that, I would say, oh, let me tell you what this person did. Oh, this person betrayed me. This person hurt me. No, baby. I always say I betrayed me. I did that to myself, because you have no power over my world. Because if I say you made me do this, you made me feel this, you made me go there, then I'm giving you my power and I'm making you my God. And there's no way I'm going to let you have that much power in my reality. My life was messed up in the past is because I was giving my power away. I was blaming everybody. I was telling God to change oh God, please change this person. Oh, change my husband, change my children, change them, help them change so they can see this and they can do. No, Nothing changed until I changed. Once I stopped praying to God to change other people, and I started saying, God, change me. Help me change my perspective of this. Help me change how I am manifesting this. Help me change the way I am showing up. Help me change the way I am speaking to this person. Help me to be able to see the God in them. Help me to be able to see them from your eyes. Help me to be able to perceive them from your perception. When I started changing how I spoke about it, when I started changing how I felt about it, when I started changing how I was praying about it, when I started changing the way I was feeling about it, and I stopped being a victim and saying it's them, and I started realizing that it's me, then that's when things started changing. And that's why a lot of people are sad and depressed, because your ass don't want to admit that you the problem. It's easier for you to say Susie betrayed me, and Susie fake, and Susie ain't do right by me, and that man betrayed me and he cheated on me and he hurt me, than you to say I lacked boundaries and I let Susie get away with too much. I lacked boundaries and I didn't stand on what I told that man I'm not going to deal with. I just kept saying I'm not going to do this, and I kept trying to fight him when he was disrespecting me and yelling and popping off at the mouth, instead of removing myself. Because that's what a true goddess will do. A goddess don't argue with a peasant. She realized that vengeance is not hers. When a queen know who she is, she don't step off her throne and risk losing her throne. She don't allow anybody to trick her out of her power, because she's standing in her power of knowing who she is. She don't entertain foolishness, because she realized that the little foolishness that you are trying to come at her with is very small compared to the bigger picture of this kingdom, or the queendom that she is here to rule. She is here to save and help and to guide many people that's in her kingdom, that's in her queendom. She got some bigger stuff to do than to worry about what you got to say about her. You ain't never seen, why would a queen come and come to a peasant and be like, oh, so I heard you don't like me. I heard that you be talking crap about me. She won't do that, because she know that there's a bigger picture, there's bigger fish to fry. She realized she let peasants do what peasants do, baby. And that's what you're going to have to do. If you are thinking the same way that you always thought, if you are feeling the same way you always felt, if you are acting in the same way that you always acted, then nothing is going to change in your life. You're going to have to change in order for things to change. And that's the biggest problem I keep saying that's the biggest problem. That's the biggest problem. There's a lot of big problems, all right? And so you get it. But another big problem that we have is we keep trying to change everybody else. Like I was just saying, instead of changing ourselves, right? We want to change how this person is thinking. We want to change how they feel about things. Oh, I don't like the way you see this. You need to see my point. No, baby. When you know who you are, when you know your power, you don't have to have people that to agree with you. You don't have to have people to see things from your perception. You're okay with being misunderstood, because you also realize that none of this is real anyway. I'm only seeing this way, and I only feel this way about this situation or this thing or this person because of the agreements that I have taken on about this person, this situation. Here's a perfect example. One of the biggest things that a lot of women have problem with is if a man look at another woman and he feel attracted to a woman, he look at a woman with lustful eyes, then a lot of us have been taught, we have been raised in insecure environments. And so we become so upset. How dare you look at another woman? How dare you? As if he can control the fact that he find this person attractive. It's not about he can look at a woman. You can look anywhere. Women look at women. Women are some beautiful creatures. The way our bodies are shaped, the way that our energy, our essence of who we are, women look at women. We can't control it. It's not that we look at them and we say, oh, I got to go take you home. No, we'll be like, wow, she is a beautiful woman. But that doesn't mean that we want to go and marry the woman, right? And that's the same thing with the man. Just because he look at another woman and he can appreciate her beauty, that doesn't mean that he wants to leave you and go be with that woman. That doesn't mean that he is intentionally trying to disrespect you. It's really about the actions that he take, right? But so let's say that's a big problem that a lot of women have. And so let's say if you have another woman that say, you know what, I understand how the psychology of a man works. The way that God created the man, the way that the creator created the man, he created the man to be to when he see another a beautiful woman, that he have a chemical reaction that's going on within his body, is because we have been created to procreate so that we can be fruitful and create more humans for this earth, right? To fill the earth. And so a woman that understands that she don't get intimidated, and a woman that know who she is, when she know her power, when she know she's confident, when she know she's sexy, when she know that another woman being beautiful doesn't take away from her beauty, another woman being powerful doesn't take away from her power, another woman being in her divine energy doesn't take away from her divinity. See, when a woman knows that, she doesn't get intimidated and want to fight and break up with her man because that he found another woman to be attractive, or he found another woman to be beautiful. But the woman that embodied that energy, she have been raised around, or she have been programmed around things that made her be secure in knowing who she is. Her mother most likely didn't go get all emotional whenever her dad or her mates found another woman to be attractive. Her mother obviously stood and grounded in knowing her power, or she observed the fact that her husband found a woman attractive, and she was like, and she go on by her way, because she knows that that doesn't take away from her. But a woman that have been raised in an environment where the mama is always popping off because the mama is insecure, the mama is not grounded, the mama have no sense of who she is, then the mom is not consciously aware of the genetic makeup of the man and our power, what we came here to do, then that woman will also be embodying the energy of an insecure woman, a woman that's out of her power, a woman that is envious and jealous of other women because she was raised and put in environments with women that embodied those same insecure vibrational frequencies and thoughts. But it's not either one of the women are bad or good. It just means that they have made certain agreements from their environments. And so therefore, those agreements dictate how they feel about that situation. Same thing, a woman that have been raised in a way that her moms teach her, she watched her mom not care what people thought about her. She watched her mom show up in her power no matter what. So when a woman that had been raised with a mother and she have witnessed people like talk about her mom, and her mom be like, okay, that's something that's going on with you. That don't have anything to do with me. Most likely that woman will also embody the energy of not caring how people think about her, because that's what she have been programmed from the person that raised her, the person that cultivated her. But a woman that was raised in a household with a woman that got overly emotional about every little thing, chances are very high that she too will be overly emotional. You see, I wasn't raised in a emotionally mature environment. I wasn't raised around secure women. I wasn't raised around confident women. I wasn't raised around women or anyone that truly knew who they were and walked in their power. But I was blessed to be able to have mentors. I was blessed to be able to have spiritual mothers. I was blessed to be able to have spiritual fathers. I was blessed to be able to have even a husband, a mother-in-law, family that helped me to be able to perceive things differently. By me watching them show up differently in the world, it inspired me to be able to do the work on myself to show up differently in the world. And so I was raised in those toxic environments, but I decided to make new habits of thoughts. I decided to make new agreements, and therefore I manifested an entirely new reality because I decided to change how I was thinking about things and change how I was showing up in the world. The unlearning process is just as important as the relearning process. So unlearning bad habits is just as important as making agreements to adopt new good habits, right? And so a lot of times you need to unlearn what you have been taught in order so you can relearn new information. Breaking the habit of your old self needs to happen before you create new habits of recreating your new self. And so that's why I'm going through this today, is because in order to help you properly know how to tell a new story and reprogram your subconscious mind and reprogram your life, you're going to have to break old habits. You're going to have to make new agreements. And so you're going to have to become aware of those old agreements that has been holding you back and blocking you from manifesting the things that you would like to manifest into your reality. All right. The only way to heal is you have to change. In order, and the only way to manifest a new reality is you have to change. The most important thing to change is to change your thoughts, is to change your habit of feeling. You need to change the way that you are showing up in the world. Most importantly, you need to change the way you're showing up when nobody is watching, because who you are when nobody is watching is truly who you are. Who you pretend to be when you feel that you are being watched is really a reflection of who you want to be. It's not really, it has nothing to do with who you truly are. So changing your reality, manifesting a new reality, it is going to take an enormous amount of energy and consciousness. And so, one of the most important things that I started doing, one of the most transformational things that I started to do in my life is, at the end of the day, I would take my journal and I would write out, I would ask myself, how did I do today? How did I show up today? How was my energy? How was I emotionally responding today? And then I would ask myself, where did I fall short today? And I would write it out. I would be like, okay, today I fell short. Today I felt like I fell short when the children all was crying at the same time, and I felt like overly stimulated. And so I just felt like, and so I started to go through a downward spiral of how I was feeling and moving throughout the day after that happened. And then I would also have to ask myself, okay, well, if I fell short there and if I didn't do good in that area today, what can I do tomorrow that if it happened again, or the next time that this happened, what can I do differently? And then I will write out a different response. Okay, the next time when all of the kids are crying at the same time, I could simply just start to breathe. I can hum, I can start clapping my hands and smiling, and or something that's going to offset or shift the children's energy. You see what I'm saying? And so let's say if you feel short, well, okay, well, I started to get aggravated around 3 p.m. because I was hungry, I was frustrated. And I realized that I started to think about how I have to pay these bills. It was time for me to pay the bills. And then I started to think about all the money I have to put out and how I need more money because, I'm tired of living in lack and blah, 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 blah. And so you need to just say, okay, this is where I fell short. This is where I started to forget who I am. This is where my energy started to go low. So what can I do tomorrow that can help me? And so even if it's saying, okay, well, I realized that around 3 p.m. for the past week, I realized around 3 p.m. I fell short every day for the last 2-3 weeks, whatever, around 3 p.m. And I realized that I get aggravated during that time because I get very tired. And so you can start saying, okay, well, how can I offset this energy? If you're in a space that you could, maybe you can make it so that, hey, at 2:00, I take a nap for a 15-minute nap, a 20-minute nap, a 30-minute nap, an hour nap, whatever it is. Or maybe during this time, I can make it so that I can start doing breath work and I can listen to meditational music, or I can listen to high vibrational music, or I can dance around, or something that can help me ground my energy during that time, because I realized that my energy starts to get low every day around this time. And so once you're becoming aware of how you've been showing up, aware of how you're feeling, aware of how you are, moving, then you can shift it, you can change it, because once you measure things, then you can get better at them. That, you know how they say practice makes perfect, but we're not worried about perfect or perfection. Practice is about progress. And so as long as I am doing better today than I did yesterday, as long as I'm doing better this week than I did last week, as long as I'm doing better this year as I did last year, then I am making progress. That I can be proud of myself because I'm realizing that I am showing up better. And so I like to do a think box before, I do a think box at the end of the day to see how did I do that day. But I also do a think box in the morning before I start my day. At least I try my best to. And I can tell the days when I do it and the days that I don't, because they really, they'll be very different. And so a think box before you begin your morning routine, you can sit for a moment and you can ask yourself, what do I need to be focused on today? What am I doing today? So not only, okay, so if this is what I need to be focused on, this is what I need to be doing today, what do I need to be thinking today? And so let's say if I need to be focused on getting the kids together, I need to be focused on reaching out to clients. I need to be focused on responding back to my emails. I need to be focused on mailing off this product or completing this service for this client. then I also need to be aware of what it is that I need to be thinking of. Okay, so I need to be thinking about how I need to think about how prosperous I am. I need to think about how people love working with me because I give the best service. I need to be thinking about how I am going to about giving love to my children and everyone that I meet. So, it is just asking yourself what thoughts that I need to be thinking in order so that I can thrive throughout this day. Also, I write out what habits or thoughts or emotions I need to stay away from. What memories do I need to stay away from? And so not only do I think about what I need to be thinking about today, I also write out what I don't need to be thinking about today. So let's say if you have a habit of overthinking paying a bill, bills, right? If you have a habit of overthinking money or cash flow, and so you need to say, okay, today I'm going to avoid broke ass thoughts. Today I'm going to avoid having a mental war with myself. Today I'm going to avoid thinking and calling myself broke and say how I need more money and all of that. Today I'm going to avoid negative self-talk. Today I'm going to avoid saying how fat I am. Today I'm going to avoid overthinking what that person did to me. Today I'm going to avoid overthinking how I could do better or how I should have did better. Or I meditate. Why am I doing this meditation? So therefore I can have clarity on what energy I need to be focused on, because meditation is about focusing your energy. It's about stilling your energy so you can be able to receive. When you pray, you are talking to the universe. You are talking to God. But when you meditate, you are listening. You're being able to receive. And so I also ask myself, what am I going to be doing today and how am I going to do it? Let me make sure I am communicating with my heart. So what am I going to do that is going to open my heart today? And so sometimes I'll be like, okay, well, the thing that I'm going to do to open up my heart today, if I'm only going to sit for 5 minutes and breathing and holding in my heart and swaying from side to side and just thinking about my heart space. And therefore, I'm going to be giving attention to my heart for 5 minutes today. Get clear on what it is that you're going to do and get clear on what it is that you're not going to do. And so just like it's important for you to write out your goals of what it is that you need to do, it's just as important for you to write out the things that you're going to avoid doing, the things that you're going to do your best to not do. So therefore, you're not becoming unconscious throughout the day. Addressing your day for the end of the day, you could say, hey, what is it that I liked about just like you're saying, okay, where did I fall short today? Well, where did I show up my best today? What did I like most about today? What did I enjoy about my meditation today? What did I enjoy about my thoughts today? What thoughts did I have that made me feel good? And then you're revisiting them, because as long as when you are aware of things that make you happy, when you're aware of things that make you feel good, you start to manifest more of that, right? As long as you're in that energy. Abraham Hicks teaches that if something happened funny from 3 weeks ago, if you just think about that one funny thing that happened, you will start to shift your energy, because you will be allowing yourself to stay in the energy of gratitude, of happiness, because you will be in the energy of laughter, of something that made you feel very excited, right? Rehearse how you're going to be. Rehearse how you're going to show up. Rehearse in your mind the things that you're not going to think about anymore, or how you're not going to respond, or how you're not going to act anymore. Rehearse how you're going to act when you're under pressure. Rehearse how you're going to act when you are being challenged. Rehearse how you're going to act when things are going wrong. Rehearse how you're going to act if the kids are acting out. Rehearse how you're going to act if you have to pay bills or an unexpected bill come along. Rehearse how you're going to act if people treat you wrong, or people be ugly to you. And so just like you need to know what it is that you want, you also need to know what it is that you don't want. Just like you need to know what it is, how you want to be, you also need to know how I don't want to be. Just like you realize the things that you want to think about and speak into reality, you also need to realize and be aware of the things that you no longer want to think, and how you no longer want to bring those things and these things into your reality. And so you need to become very aware of what it is that you are allowing your energy, where you're allowing your energy to be. And this is a journey. It's not a one time, boom, bam, thank you, ma'am, I'm done. No, this is a journey. It is an ongoing journey. But the more that, and when you first start to become aware and conscious of how you're thinking or how you're feeling and the things that you don't want to think anymore and the things you don't want to feel anymore, it is going to be hard. I'm going to be real with you. It is going to be one of the most challenging things that you ever do. But I'm letting you know that no matter what it is, you're going to be challenged in life. At least get something out of it. And so no matter what you go through in life, you're going to get mad. You're going to be aggravated. It's going to be hard. So you might as well get something out of it. How about you do the things that is hard now so that your life can be easy? Because if you try to do the things that is easy and avoid doing the shadow work, avoid doing the work on yourself, avoid trying to, really analyze yourself because it's too painful. You get too aggravated when you think about you're not where you want to be. Then your future is going to be even harder because you're going to keep manifesting and it's going to keep growing and expanding the thought process that you are stuck in. Because like I just kept saying over and over and over, that 90% of what it is that we are manifesting is really just a habit of thought that we feel throughout the day. Is really because of the things that we have agreed to, because we're listening to the same type of music. We're watching the same type of programs. We watching and paying attention to the same type of things on social media over and over and over and over. And so therefore it is programming our subconscious mind. It is dictating how we are showing up in the world. If you want to change it, only thing you have to do is change what you are paying attention to and how you are paying attention to it. You need to say, okay, I know I need to listen to something more positive. So but I also need to make sure that I'm listening to less of this. And so if I like to watch fight videos, which I don't, but let's say if I'm a person that want to watch fight videos and drama and women throwing drinks on each other and people killing each other and murder this and all of that. Okay, I'm aware that I like to watch that, right? I'm not saying that you don't go watch it again, you don't ever pay attention to it again or whatever, but you do need to get to the space of saying, okay, I'm only going to give myself 1 hour out of this day, even 2 hours out of this day of watching this, because usually I end up wasting 8 to 10 hours out of my day doing it. So if I limit myself to only an hour or two of watching this or paying attention to this, but I use the rest of my day to make sure that, hey, for the rest of this day, the rest of this time, outside of this time slot, I'm going to make sure I'm not watching anybody pour a drink on each other. I'm going to make sure I'm not just going through the news feed, swiping. I'm going to make sure that I'm listening to something that's going to empower me. I'm going to make sure that I'm playing some Reverend Ike. I'm going to make sure I'm playing some Les Brown. I'm going to make sure I'm playing some Eric Thomas. I'm going to make sure that I'm playing some Queen Afua. I'm going to make sure that I'm playing something that's going to empower me and make me feel good about myself during this time, because I need to reprogram how I am feeling. And so in order to manifest a new reality, you need to become aware of how you manifested your current reality. And your current reality was only manifested because of the things that you have been paying attention to and how you have been giving out your energy. And so I'm praying that this really helped you. If you need more clarity on something, if I didn't explain something in depth enough for you, if even if you want to add something to it, comment it in the comments, like, share it, tell a friend to tell a friend. Help us get this message out. Help us to be able to help other people manifest a new reality. Help a friend. Send this to a friend that is fighting depression, so you can let them know, hey friend, you're only depressed because you keep practicing the emotion of depressed. It's not to just trying to down people and say that it's, like they don't really have mental things going on. But if you practice a new way of feeling, if you practice a new way of thinking, if you practice a new emotion and hold that emotion, then you can shift everything around you. It's a psychology tip of one way you can do it is, let's say you look in the mirror for 5 minutes, smiling at yourself, just smiling for 5 minutes, just smiling, looking at your eyes or looking at something that you really enjoy about your body, admiring yourself, speaking nice things and thinking nice thoughts about yourself. And so let's say if you hate everything about yourself, but you love your nose and you love your shoulders or you love your ears, right? And so let's say if you just smile at yourself and focus on, oh man, I got the cutest little ears. Oh, I just love my smile. Even if I hate my eyes, I'll be like, oh, I just love my smile. Oh, I have a beautiful smile. I have a radiant smile. Oh, I love this about myself. I appreciate this about myself. And so when you are looking at your image, smiling back at you, your mind will start to think, because the subconscious mind do not know the difference between what is real and what is fake. And so if you are pretending to be happy, if you're looking in the mirror and you're just focusing on one good thing about yourself constantly over and over and over, and when you start to realize you're drifting, bring it back. Bring it back. Without downing yourself or anything, just bring it back and be like, oh, I forgot to be focusing on my radiant smile, or I forgot to be focusing on my beautiful eyes, or I forgot to be focusing on my nice shoulders, or I forgot to be focusing on my beautiful breast, or whatever it is that you appreciate about yourself, right? And so you just stand there and do it. Your subconscious mind will start to say, oh, it's got to be something good happening in order for this, for Sabrina or whoever you are to be smiling. And so your subconscious mind will start to bring in more thoughts and feelings that'll make you smile. You'll start to think about things that is happy. So that's what the Bible meant when it says you can't worship two gods at the same time. That means you can't be happy and mad at the same time. You can't feel good about yourself and hate yourself at the same time. You can't feel loving thoughts about the world and hate the world at the same time. And so you get to pick your master. You pick it by saying, you know what? I am going to do something right now that is going to help me feel good. I'm going to do something right now that's going to offset those negative emotions and feelings that I'm used to thinking. I'm going to do something right now that is going to help me feel good about myself. And so, yes, we're telling you to become aware of the things that you don't like about yourself, become aware of the negative things that you're thinking, to become aware of the bad things around you, only so that you can pay attention to something new. Because a lot of the times it's the things that we are not realizing that is taking us down that downward spiral, that is really the things that is blocking our prosperity and of making negative things happen within our reality. And so you can change the things that is happening around you by changing the way you are thinking about it, by changing the way you speak about it, by changing the way you're feeling about it, by changing your emotions. And so become aware of what it is that you want, but most importantly, become aware of what it is that you don't want anymore. Because once you realize what you don't want, once you realize the way you don't want to feel, once you realize the way you don't want to speak, and once you realize the things you don't want to do, then it becomes easier to recreate it. And you can realize, okay, so I don't want this, so that means I do want this. I don't want this, so I do want this. Okay, guys, I'm really hoping that you found a lot of value in today's podcast. Peace, love, light.